Everything we do in our lives, in our day, in our world, for that matter, has a cause and effect. And cause and effect is actually the flow of energy. The flow of energy that comes from us individually, the flow of energy that comes from the earth, from the world, the plants, the animals, from everything around us. Everything from the desk you're sitting at, to the couch you're sitting on, to the chair you're leaning in. Everything is energy. So everything you do with your actions and your reactions has a cause and effect. So when you look at cause and effect in the way that it's growing you, and the cause and effect of how you are developing, and when you look at cause and effect and how it actually manifests what you want and what you're dreaming of and what you're thinking of and what you're feeling, cause and effect is actually the law of attraction. The law of attraction has many different ways and many different forms in which it all comes together. But it is the law of attraction, being that the law of attraction is the glue that holds cause and effect together. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? When you learn that and you look at it and you think, okay, I'm using the law of attraction every day. Every day throughout my day, I'm using the law of attraction. Everything I do is based on emotions, feelings, thoughts. These all come together. And what happens is you put it out there to the universe. You put your desires out there. You put what you're wanting, what you're needing, what you're desiring. But what we don't realize is there's a cause and effect that goes into play when this happens. And what happens is you put your thoughts and feelings out there. Well, the law of attraction, being the wonderful energy that it is, will bind those together like the glue. Like when you glue something together and you want it to hold, well, the law of attraction is the glue that works with cause and effect. So whatever you're doing, and you know that there's always an opportunity come your way, there's an option, something that you need to do, there's a step you need to take, whatever that is, you know that it's there and you know you're working on it, and you're thinking, okay, I know this is cause and effect, so whatever I do, whatever I've put out there has caused this to come my way. The effect will be the action steps you take. And when you look at that, and there are actually two sides to a coin. Okay, so let me back up here just a second. When you look at a coin, there's heads and tails. And heads and tails, you flip it one way, you do one thing, and you flip it another way, you say you do the other thing. So it's basically the same principle when you look at cause and effect and the law of attraction. Except instead of heads and tails, we have faith, right? We know we have to have faith, but then we have fear. So if you're flipping that coin, and you know you have faith and fear, those are your two options, because that's what we have. We either vibrate in faith or fear. And most of us tend to want to vibrate in faith because it's the light that shines on us. It's the momentum. It is everything that we push forward of who we are, what we're doing. And when we learn that our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts are faith or fear. If you're thinking in the fear thought, if you have a fear of, I can't do this, or something's not going to be right for me, or things aren't going to happen right for me, or why me? Why does everything happen to me? Why does everything happen to me? When you do that, you're in the fear thought. And what happens is the law of attraction binds with cause and effect, and it comes back and it does exactly what you've asked it to. You're in fear for whatever it is. Well, it's going to give you more of that. So be aware of where you're at, where your vibration is, and where your momentum is going. Once you get started on that vibration, it creates momentum. When your momentum is going and you're in the fear factor, is what I like to call it. Why me? Why has this happened to me? Why am I the only one? And why? The more you ask that question of yourself, the universe is answering you. And you're getting the answer right back to you. It's not the answer a part of you wants to hear, but it is the answer. So on the other side of the coin is faith. When you live in faith and when you radiate in faith, and I don't mean spiritual faith so much as faith in yourself. Faith in what you're doing is right. Faith in that you're taking the right steps. Faith in who you are, and faith in who you are becoming. When you can become that person in your own faith, and you're walking the walk, you're talking the talk, and you're taking the steps, that you're going to find out that cause and effect will give you opportunities, options. It will give you what you need. And it's up to you to take the action steps to bring it forward and make it happen. And that's where the law of attraction comes in there for faith and binds it together and delivers it to you in the form of an action step. There's something you need to do. There's a step you need to take. There's always something that we need to do. Nothing ever just manifests out of nowhere. We have to take the steps. We have to learn the skills, or we have to get in the right vibration to give us the opportunity to have what we want, to have what we need. So when you're thinking in faith, and you always think in faith of, I know this is going great for me. You know, I may have a rough here or maybe a hurdle there. But either way, I know this is going to work out because there's no other way for me than to go in the direction I want to go. That is faith. That is faith in yourself. It's faith in your beliefs. It's faith in your energy. Look at the energy you're producing. Look at the energy out there. It's, oh my gosh, guys, it is so amazing, the energy. You can feel it. So, as you're building your life, as you're building your lifestyle is going to come to you from your home business. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's another way you have of earning money. Whatever it is, whatever you're working on, make sure you are giving it wholeheartedly your best attention. Focus on what you need to learn every single day. Focus on the steps you need to take. Focus on who you need to be during that day to attract what you need. If you're living in fear that something's not going to work out, if you're living in fear that, you know, things aren't going to happen for you, if they're not going to be great for you, whatever it is, if you're living in any kind of fear, you want to release that and say, you know what? Maybe that frightened me at one time, or maybe I was afraid of that at one time, but I changed that now. I know from my teachings, from my beliefs, and from my energy that I am a living in faith person. I will always live in faith for what I want and what I will desire to have come forward for me. When you do that, you're not only changing the energy around you, you're changing the energy that's coming from you. The energy that's coming from you is the energy that is going to come back to you. We are like a boomerang. Have you ever thrown a boomerang or seen a boomerang thrown either way, and you throw it and it goes out there and then it comes back? It may take a little bit, but it always comes back. So that's what the law of attraction does. And that's where cause and effect come in. Because cause and effect instigate and bring it together, and the law of attraction is the glue that binds it. So you're always attracting back to you, just like the boomerang. You're always attracting back to you what you throw out there. So always be aware of what you're throwing out there. And like I was just saying, if you're working in your home business and maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you've been working at it a while and it's not quite there. If you are, then you might want to look at the platform you're in. Are you with motivated people? Are you with people that say, I got this, I can help you with that? You know, that's going to give you more faith in yourself. When you're around people that have that energy, isn't that contagious? I know for me it is contagious. And I like to give that energy out to everyone out there on the marketplace, because it is contagious when you have people around you that are happy and they're motivated, and they don't go around saying, well, I did this and I did that. They just know when you need it, because they can watch you. They can watch you when you reach out. They will say, hey, I got you. I've got this. I can help you. But if you're out there bragging about something because you get to do this or you get to do that, that's not really a good place to be. You don't really want to be doing that. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you need to brag to the world that you can do it. That's a subtle energy when you know you've got this, when you know you can have what you want, you can go where you want. You don't have to tell the world that you're doing it, right? I find it's much better to just live life and share and constantly give back to the marketplace in any way, shape, or form I can. And I know that by giving out more options, more opportunities, and give more options for people to join, to grow, and to prosper, that's how more people grow. And that just that little step there is how more millionaires are created every year. The ones that take the steps, the ones that grow, the ones that use the opportunities that are presented to them, we find that they will grow even more. It just depends on where you're at. It depends on what you're doing. And it also depends on if you're in the faith mode or if you're in the fear factor. Fear is not good. It's no good to be fearful. Fearful just gets us all wound up and just tied in knots. So if you're in the fear factor, let it go. If you're in the faith factor, yay, go on, keep going. Spread the love, spread the joy. So look at the cause and effect you are causing and creating in your life. And know that the law of attraction is the glue that holds it all together. And that's what comes back to you, just like the boomerang. It comes right back to you full force and even stronger on the rebound. So be aware of that as you're going through your steps and as you're going through the systems and strategies that you're creating for yourself. Definitely look at what you're doing and be open to receiving options, be open to receiving opportunities. And whenever you're watching someone's broadcast or their video, always check in the description, in the header, in the options that it gives you. Always check in there, because there's usually 9 out of 10 times there is an offer, there's an opportunity in there that if you happen to see that video, there's a reason why you did. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. It's cause and effect. Okay. Hope you got great joy from this one. This one took a lot of thought and a lot of ingenuity to put it together. But thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. Thank you.